What's up, guys? It's Youth Music TV here with another album review. I did one last night. Time for another one. I have so many I want to do, so bear with me. So today I want to talk to you about a very highly anticipated album, at least to me. The brand new album from The Plot and You titled Happiness and Self-Destruction. The album is 15 tracks of it's a roller coaster of emotion and heartache and aggression. It's just a mix of everything they've done in their past albums, but this one is really true to how they really are, and it took a lot off Landon Tewers, the lead vocalist. It, yeah, this is just his life into an album, basically. We did an interview with him in July where he just did a tell-all of what this album would include, and it's just very personal to him. And if you've heard it, I'm sure you know he is very proud of the outcome of it, and so am I, and I hope all of you are, because this album is great, and I'm going to get into it right now. They really didn't pull any punches this time around with as far as experimentation, as each song sounds completely different than the last. The album couldn't really start off on any more chaotic note than the opening track, Hole in the Wall, which shows they really didn't abandon their roots as far as leaving the heavy style behind. It's not your traditional chug breakdown, but it's still heavy. It starts with distortion and it just goes into chaotic heaviness, really. And it leads the album off on a very heavy note, and it's a great way to start the album. Things almost go on a softer note for the second track, Dear Old Friend, but it's a very, very dark track as far as the instrumentals and the lyrics go. This whole album has a very dark, ominous almost sound to it, even though most songs consist of like heartache and loss, but it still has a very, very ominous and sometimes haunting sound to it, as Dear Old Friend definitely does, with the guitar work mainly. The next song, Take Me Away, if you've seen their behind the scenes videos that they've posted within the past couple months, this song is, I believe it's about his passing grandmother, Landon's passing grandmother, as it damn near makes you want to cry just listening to the words of this song. But you get to the end of the song, and he said in the video that they posted that it's actually a sound clip that he found from a home video of his grandmother singing him a song when he was little, which I found that to be very tear-jerking, to be honest, and it was a great way to close out the track. The next two tracks are Runaway and Pillhead, and those two may be two of my favorites from the album. They each have a very creepy, haunting-sounding monologue by Landon that he tended to do a lot in his solo EP, Dead Kid. I really like how he does that. It adds a very creepy element to the songs, and Pillhead, he does it at his best, in my opinion, and just the lyrical content is insane in that one. As far as the instrumentals, they may be the heaviest on this album as well. The next song is Better Vibes, which is most likely the most heartfelt song on this. Instrumentally, lyrically, and just Landon's range in this one is great. He begins with like a whisper almost, that is also very different. He shows a lot of different vocal styles in this album, which I think is great on his behalf. He's very experimental with his vocals. His range is far. He can go high-pitched shrieking, screaming to where he sounds like he's rolling around on the damn floor, just screaming at the top of his lungs, to he whispers, he does creepy monologues, he sings great. His clean vocals are on point on this album. And then he also does his guttural lows that you can find in their debut EP, Wife Beater, and their debut, Firstborn. The next song, Die Like Your Brothers, is probably the more in-your-face, hardcore sounding, almost has like a new metal type guitar style in this. Landon is raw as hell, pretty much just yelling into the microphone on this one. It's just very, very just raw. I'd say it's one of the heavier, but it's not really a metal or metalcore heavy. It's more of like a hardcore, like just raw This one's a heavy as well. It's called Mind Controlled. It starts off with a chugging chord with guitar and just a weird distortion chant in between each. Yeah, it's very weird. It starts it off at a very eerie tone, and it just gets guttural from there. I love this track. It's also another one of my favorites. The next song, Time Changes Everything, is probably the one that I've listened to the most. I've had it pretty much on repeat. Just what the song's about and just the vibe that it gives. It's a softer song, but it's basically about letting moments of life pass you by and regretting that you didn't take more advantage of them, or just really just having regrets towards the past and just wasting life away. Just because this song is just on a softer tone, it doesn't mean that Landon doesn't get diverse with his vocal style in this yet again. He sings basically the whole time and then unexpectedly actually starts to scream in it, which usually in a softer vibe song doesn't really fit, but they make it really work in this, and I love the outcome of this song in particular. It's definitely a highlight of this album, and I highly recommend you checking this song out among a lot of the others. And then going back to the rawness almost of the hardcore sound, they go with Living Your Dream and A Song About Myself. Living Your Dream starts with kind of a swaying metalcore type bouncy chords with the guitar, and it just leads into like a hardcore song that is just as raw as anything that you've heard them do, as well as A Song About Myself. That song is equally just as in your face and raw as the last. This album must be like Landon must be bipolar, because this album is sure as hell bipolar, just back and forth. It basically has a personality disorder. But the next song is Forgive Me, which also tends to be a softer song. It's also very heartfelt with Time Changes Everything and Take Me Away. It fits to the mold of how those tracks are. I just love how diverse this album is, and it just surprised me, and it was beyond anything I expected of it, really. But another true highlight of this album is the closing track, which is the title track of the album. It has like an old-time record feel to the sound. It's very slow throughout, and the lyrical content really speaks. Landon has to feel like he had the weight of the world lifted off of him after doing this song and this entire record. He can feel like he can breathe now, I would hope. But yeah, this song and this whole album blew me away. I've always been a huge fan of The Plot and You and just Landon in general. Everything he's produced or guest vocaled on, and then his time in Before Their Eyes, he was my favorite part of that band. But yeah, he never ceases to surprise me, and I just love everything he's done. So Landon, good job, bud. I'm very proud of the work you did, and I'm sure I can speak for a lot of people that you've done a great job at doing this album yourself with the other two, or three. I'm sorry, I forget how many members you guys have. It changes a lot. But you guys made a great debut for Stay Sick. That was also a surprise to go from Rise to go to Stay Sick. And I can see Franz let you do whatever the hell you wanted. You guys were very creative in the studio, and it really paid off. So, with all this said, I'm going to give this album a 5 out of 5. I know I've been giving a lot of 5 out of 5s lately, but there's been a lot of great albums to come out this month. Like, October has been a great month, and there's a lot more coming this month, so expect more reviews. So if you enjoyed this one, be sure you go and hit that like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you thought. Also, leave me a comment letting me know of any reviews you'd like me to do. And we'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching.